Hard to believe it's that time of year again. I mean, how is it Halloween already? This year's gone really fast. Anyway, Halloween's the perfect night to stay in and watch some cheesy horror films, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Not a cheesy film in a bad sense, though. Yeah, because today, I feel like it's important to look at one of the best horror films ever made, in my opinion. Now, I don't know why I've not seen this film sooner. We're talking about the original 1996 Scream in today's video, which I only just saw for the first ever time the other day. I know, crazy, don't come at me. Now, I wanted to watch this film because, well, I'm a film and media student, and frankly it's quite embarrassing that I've not seen Scream yet. But also, Matthew Lillard's in this film, and I think he's one of the best actors ever. Honestly, he's a great actor, especially in Scooby-Doo. Now, those live-action films were not good, looking back at them, but as a kid, they were sure as hell enjoyable. Anyway, I'm getting besides the point. Here, I'm going to be looking at the original Scream, and why I think it's one of the best horror films ever made. We'll be taking a look at the characters, the general plot, and what this film does well as a few critiques, if there are any. But I'll figure that out later. So for now, sit back, relax, put the heating on, it's getting cold this time of year. Or maybe don't, maybe you want to save some money, it's completely up to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, as we'll be diving into Scream. Scream was released in 1996, directed by Wes Craven, who had previously worked on well-known horror projects such as The Hills Have Eyes Parts 1 and 2, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is directly referred to in Scream. Craven's works on other horror movies in the past allowed for Scream's self-awareness as a horror movie, as well as effectively creating some gory moments. Initially, Craven was quite reluctant to direct the movie. However, he saw the film as something unique, a satirical and comedic horror film unlike a typical spoof and anything else. Scream still incorporated some pretty gory moments, pushed by a fan who critiqued Craven's previous films for being too soft. With screenwriting by Kevin Williamson, Scream certainly made an impact on the horror scene, and its slasher has become one of the most iconic today. I mean, can you even look for Halloween masks without seeing a Ghostface costume? I don't think so. You know what, let's talk about that actually, because the Ghostface costume has quite an interesting backstory. You see, like the Michael Myers in the Halloween series, the Ghostface mask was a store-bought mask, part of Funworld's Fantastic Faces collection released in 1991, and this particular mask used in the film was titled The Peanut Eye Ghost. But this wasn't actually the true original design. Lauren Givens, I sure hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, actually created the first case of the Ghostface mask, which the design was then used by Funworld. That's basically it. I mean, if you want the full story on it, it's actually really interesting. I recommend you check out this video by Lius Gaming, which I'll leave a link to that video down below. Scream opens up with a young girl, Casey Becker, alone in her house when she receives a series of anonymous and threatening phone calls. And then it isn't too long until the killer, Ghostface, breaks into her house and brutally murders her. All the meanwhile, she's helpless, getting dragged away while her parents are just out of reach, but they don't hear her, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. This opening sequence helps to establish Ghostface and just how brutal he is, and also that he's on the way to terrorise our main cast. Let's get to our main cast of characters because they sure are an interesting bunch. Sydney Prescott, high school student and our main protagonist, is still haunted by the past when her mother was murdered almost a year ago prior to the events of the film. And it's heavily inferred that Ghostface is the one responsible for the killing, which that is quite an easy thing to take a guess at. We then have Sydney's best friend, Tatum Riley. I think I said that horrifically wrong, bear with. along with her boyfriend Stu Matcher, a comedic relief character and my favourite character in the entire film, because he's always making some sort of joke, even if it isn't an appropriate time to do so, such as talking about a murder victim. Real nice of you, Stu. We also have Randy, another good friend of Sydney's, and a film nerd. Reminds me a bit of me. He's also a comedic character, similar to Stu. And finally, we have Billy Loomis, Sydney's boyfriend, who gives off really suspicious and just creepy vibes. He just acts a little bit off, and it's clear to see throughout the movie. I mean, even Randy points it out.
Maybe your movie-freaked mind lost its reality button. You ever think of that? Millennium. Millennium, I like that. Good kid.
Are you telling me that's not a killer?
We also have a few other characters, such as Gail Weathers, who appears at first to be antagonising Sydney, as she keeps harassing her about the entire situation and doesn't seem to let off. And there's also Dewey Riley, a young police deputy assigned to work on the Woodsboro murders. These two have quite the chemistry together, and it develops throughout the film. After the murder of Casey in the introduction, and Sydney being attacked by Ghostface in the school bathroom, the school is forced to shut down, and the friends are planning to party together later on that evening. However, Sydney's reluctant at first, still paranoid by events earlier on in the day, but she eventually agrees. While staying at Tatum's house, Sydney receives a phone call from none other than Ghostface before being attacked, and Billy happens to be around and climbs through the window to make sure she's okay before a phone falls out of his pocket. If that's not suspicious enough, I don't know what is. This causes Billy to be arrested, and the other characters are left questioning who the killer really is throughout the film. However, Billy's alibi checks out, and as a result he's set free. Later on at the party, Dewey is tasked to monitor the party from a safe distance, whilst the reporter Gail Weathers enters the party and sets up a hidden camera to document evidence of who the killer might be. They all share jokes, drink and watch a scary movie, all while writing out the rules on how to survive a horror movie scenario.
And number 3, never, ever, ever under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back.
I'm getting another beer. You want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back!
During the party sequence, Tatum is getting some beers from the garage when she's locked in, and all of a sudden Ghostface appears. At first, she thinks it's a joke, until Ghostface pulls out a knife and frantically chases her around the garage. I have to give it to her though, she does have some good survival instincts, but in the end it isn't enough, and she ends up caught in the garage door, which crushes her to death. What a way to go. Gail and Dewey go for a bit of a walk together in the woods until they discover the body of Principal Arthur Himbry, who was killed by Ghostface following the school's closure. Like the beginning of the film where Casey was hung from the tree, the principal is too. After hearing the news, most of the partygoers leave to check out the body, which leaves just Randy, Stu, Billy and Sydney left in the house. Sydney and Billy talk upstairs for a bit about Sydney's past and the trauma she's been dealing with, and then they break the first rule of horror films: never have sex. Oops. This is very short-lived though, as Ghostface suddenly breaks into the room and guts Billy several times. Nice! Sydney frantically fights off against the killer, hiding in the news van and attempting to escape before going back inside the house. But it seems like Billy actually managed to survive, because he's bleeding out all over the place, falling down the stairs. Come on, man. Sydney's obviously taken aback by this, and she gives Billy the gun she took from Dewey. Randy panics and enters the house, claiming that Stu's gone mad before all of this happens. And I'll just let this play out for itself, because this scene is fantastic.
Anthony Perkins, Psycho. Corn syrup. Same stuff they use for pig's blood in Carrie.
Help me, please.
Surprise, Sydney.
Oh, now, whoa.
What's the matter, Sydney? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Why are you doing this?
It's all part of the game, Sydney.
It's called Guess How I'm Gonna Die!
Fuck you!
We already played that game, remember? You lost.
It's a fun game, Sydney. See, we ask you a question, and if you get it wrong, booga! You die.
You get it right, you die.
You're crazy, both of you.
Actually, we prefer the term psychotic.
You'll never get away with this.
Oh no? Tell that to Cotton Weary. You wouldn't believe how easy he was to frame.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
No!
Oh, where you going?
Why? Why did you kill my mother?
Why?
Why?
You hear that, Stu? I think she wants a motive. I don't really believe in motive, Sid. I mean, did Norman Bates have a motive?
No.
Did they ever really decide why Hannibal Lecter liked to eat people? Don't think so. See, it's a lot scarier when there's no motive, Sid. We did your mom a favor, Sid. That woman was a slutbag whore who flashed her shit all over town like she was Sharon Stone or something.
Yeah, it would put her out of her misery. Because let's face it, Sydney, your mother was no Sharon Stone. Hmm?
Is that motive enough for you?
I mean, what a twist, right? Sure, Billy was suspicious, but Stu? I never would have expected him to be the killer, and I wouldn't have guessed there'd be two of them. The ending reveal scene is just incredible. I think it's one of the most iconic killer reveals in cinematic history, and I just absolutely love how Craven went about this. Billy lacking a real motive makes him all the more frightening as a killer too. Stu claims he just did it due to peer pressure, but I mean, Billy's just pure evil.
It's a scream, baby. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
I know what time it is, Sid. It's after midnight. It's your mom's anniversary. Congratulations. We killed her exactly 1 year ago today.
Gale then shows up to distract the pair, which gives Sydney enough time to sneak around the house and taunt the killers. She then gets into a brutal fight scene with Stu, which just ends up with Stu getting his head crushed in with a TV. This film just loves crushing people to death, doesn't it? Billy is really close to finally killing Sydney until Gale appears once more just to finish him off. He then attempts a final scare before being put down for good. Good riddance, I say. Never liked that guy. In the final sequence, the sun rises, and the last of the survivors are taken to hospital for care. Gale reports the story on a news channel, closing out the film with, "It's morning in Woodsboro, and for one survivor, the nightmare's finally over."
Amazing breaking story. Several more local teens are dead, bringing to an end the harrowing mystery of the mass killings that has terrified this peaceful community, like the plot of some scary movie. It all began with a scream over 911 and ended in a bloodbath that has rocked the town of Woodsboro. All played out here in this peaceful farmhouse, far from the crimes and the sirens of the larger cities that its residents have fled. Okay, let's take it back to one. Come on, move it. This is my big shot. Let's go.
What makes Scream to me the perfect horror movie is the ending sequence. The killer reveal is just so brilliantly done, I can't praise Craven enough for it. Billy's psychotic behaviour throughout the film helps to build up viewer tension until the final moment, and Sydney's character development is also fantastic. Her shy and vulnerable personality builds up to bravery and rage once the pair are revealed, and she does everything she can in her power to stop them, creating a great ending to the film. My only critique to this film is that perhaps Ghostface is a clumsy killer, as he does trip over and hesitates to kill characters quite a lot. But this film is a self-aware horror, so I guess this is just a reference to other horror films which do the exact same thing. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Scream's an absolute classic and I really wish I watched it sooner. If you haven't seen Scream yet, well, sorry for spoiling it, but you definitely need to check it out. Anyway, Scream is a very important film as well, as it did pave way for a new subgenre of teen slasher films, and it also paved way for films such as I Know What You Did Last Summer and Final Destination series, which I love Final Destination, so I'll definitely make a video on those someday. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.